Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to unusual things to deep fry. Now, I know in terms of deep frying foods or deep fried foods, America loves them. But also, I mean, in England, you get like for example, you get like battered sausage, which is one of the most popular things, or battered fish, when you have fish and chips, you know. Certain things like you will commonly have. But I don't think like when it comes to deep frying like things outside of those sort of foods, especially like meats. I don't think deep fried like for example, I think you've got deep fried okra in the US. You don't deep fry. I don't know. I'm trying to find a similar food to okra, but I can't really find one. You don't deep fry green beans. That's not a similar food. We don't deep fry like stuff like that, you know. So it's quite rare that you see this sort of stuff in the UK. I know in Scotland they love like a deep fried Mars bar, which to me sounds horrifying, but apparently it's very good. So I mean, I can't really say much. I've not tried it before, you know. But yeah, the US can definitely go to extreme lengths, and I guess with this video, it'll be a lot of foods that I'm just not going to expect. But yeah, we're going to jump into this. Hopefully, going to enjoy. And if in some of these selections you've tried them and you're actually liking them, or you think if the guy's saying they're not good or whatever, but then it's your favourite sort of deep fried food, let me know in the comments, man, because everyone has their own taste. But let's jump into this and see some of these deep fried foods.
It's the most convenient website builder and hosting platform, and I love it. There are three categories of cooking methods: wet, dry, and combination. So what does deep frying qualify as? Apparently it's a form of wet cooking, because when the chicken is enclosed by oil, the moisture inside steams itself, so essentially it's a form of steaming, hence the crispy exterior and the tender center. I never knew that before. I thought deep frying is popular because Americans have the innate love for oil, but it's actually a great cooking technique if you can look past the whole health life thing. Today we're not just being weird, these are actually famous deep fried food that's a little unconventional. Among the three famous batters, we'll start with the standard breading procedure of flour, egg, and panko. For the egg, I don't know if you guys seen one of those TikTok videos where people drop an egg into a pan and it cracks perfectly.
Apparently, if you drop an egg into a pan, it will crack perfectly.
Fuck off.
So I'm gonna try it here.
God damn it. No.
Perfectly my ass. After having these three components ready, we'll get to the first recipe of the day: avocado fries. Why does this avocado look green and hard?
Avocado fries?
Like Piccolo's head, you ask? Well, I went to the grocery store and this is what I saw. I picked the best looking one. I must say though, I never had an avocado with green juice coming out of it. This is literally harder than peeling garlic. So after they're in pieces, we'll coat it in flour, dip it in eggs, and cover it with panko. Spoiler alert, this step is not getting old anytime soon. While we're doing that, we're gonna pour in and heat up our oil. We're using a lot of oil today. To avoid waste, I'm gonna teach you later how to reuse oil by filtering it. When it hits 350, we can drop in our fries. At first it'll sink to the bottom and it'll float up. We'll take it out of the oil when it's nice and golden. You're gonna hear this phrase a lot in this episode, but I'll try my best to make it more interesting. The benefit of having an unripe avocado is that it held its shape really well throughout the cooking process. I thought it was going to be a flavorless piece of goo enclosed by a crispy shell, but it's actually a flavorful piece of goo enclosed by a crispy shell. Avocado has been repeatedly impressing me lately. 8 out of 10.
I'm not a fan of avocado like on its own. I love it like as a side thing. Like I've said it before, but like avocado on toast for me is one of the worst things, and I'm either doing it wrong or it's just the flavor is so bland. Even if you like put salt, pepper, and I mean, you put an egg on top, or you just season it with other stuff like chili flakes and stuff. A little bit of oil on it. I don't know. Just for me, it just doesn't work. But I could just be doing it wrong because I like avocado in like guacamole and stuff. So who knows? Garlic?
So when I say fried garlic, you must be thinking one of those crispy, thinly sliced ones on top of a salad or a noodle. But this recipe today is going to be fried whole garlic. We're going to start by blanching it in boiling salted water to soften the flavor and the texture. Then we'll coat them in flour, dip it in egg, and cover with panko. They kind of look like little chicken nuggets.
What the fuck?
It's already blanched, so we're just trying to cook the exterior. Looking pretty golden brown. Let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. This is impressive. I thought the garlic flavor is going to be too strong, but it's actually mild. When you bite into it, the texture of the center kind of tastes like chicken. I'll show you the cross section real quick. It tastes so good that it almost tastes like somebody swapped them out for Chick-fil-A nuggets. So I'll give these fried garlic a 9 out of 10.
Well, I actually thought you just used chicken for a second.
Many of you may remember
fried milk. How?
Remember, we've done this before.
Too much leftover milk? Deep fry your milk.
Too much leftover milk? Maybe my dad's back. The last time we overcooked it a little bit, and apparently you're not supposed to dip it in maple syrup, which is my answer to everything. I'm not Canadian, by the way. I love maple syrup because America makes the best ones. My dad's still not back, so I added 2 cups of my roommate's milk, as much sugar as you want, and then 60 grams of cornstarch. I think it's half a cup or so. We'll put it on medium-low heat and keep stirring it until it gets nice and thick.
So is it just like a milky
After
pancake?
that, we'll transfer it to a greased
No, it's
Tupperware, smooth it out a little bit, into the freezer till it sets. It should be pretty quick, an hour and a half or so. My freezer is currently at its full power, so it's set in 45 minutes. Cutting them into long, thick strips to resemble mozzarella sticks, and just follow up with the standard breading procedure.
Flour, egg, and panko.
I don't know why, but this looks kind of funny for some reason.
I'm so confused, but
Don't
I actually
touch
think it's
them
gonna
at
be
first.
good.
We'll just let it fry on 350 for 2 to 3 minutes. What we're doing here is just cooking the outside to give it a nice color. Last time we overcooked it a little bit, so it became a little rubbery. This is looking pretty good, so a total of 3 minutes. After frying the cornstarch mixture, the inside should be very nice and creamy. Sort of like gelatin, but it doesn't bounce. It kind of just melts in your mouth. Is that a hair I didn't notice?
Oh, yum, yum. Oh, you didn't notice it.
Definitely executed pretty well today, but to improve from the maple syrup dip, today I made a caramel sauce to go with it. Deep fried milk covered in warm buttered caramel. Do you guys have funding for a food
Holy
truck? Because we're about to be
shit.
rich with this
That
one.
sounds
taste and really want to teen.
Unreal. Why have I never thought of this? Oh.
I apologize for that display of emotion. It's just the crispy on the outside, creamy on the inside fried milk, dipping in sweet and salty caramel sauce. The overall shock in my mouth kind of takes me back to my childhood. When I was little, my uncle, he ordered me my first chocolate lava cake of my life. I feel like we only get a few of those moments with food, so to savor this, I'm gonna sing a song. Picture perfect, you don't need no filter.
Picture perfect, you don't need no
What
filter.
the
Not
fuck?
leaving the theme of state fair and holiday
What?
market, we're doing a corn on the cob. This
Oh,
recipe is the
jeez.
easiest to get in concept and execution, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. After removing the husks, we'll do the thing. And get something like that, we'll start frying.
I assume this is good. I mean, it's corn, isn't it?
I fried for about 5 minutes. I'm starting to get concerned whether it's cooked or not. It's totally cooked. I guess butter isn't always the best companion for corn. Sometimes it's the standard breading procedure. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. But you know what's the best companion for chasing your dream? A tool to help you build website with no
secure in the bag?
experience. Let me introduce you to Squarespace.
Get
It's
that money,
seamless
baby.
process. So when it is a deep fried pizza. We're gonna use
Pizza?
one from the grocery store because it's already
Oh.
frozen for days and everything should stick together.
This is
So when I
mad.
first drop it in, it floats. I guess there's a lot of air in the dough. I'm afraid that the top part isn't gonna get fried, so I push it down a little. What happens here is that I guess the ice melts from the cheese and it starts like overflowing the pot. Like the occasional bubbles over here gets out and sometimes on my hand. The only answer to this is turning up the heat and commit to the pain.
Bro.
Here we have our Friday special.
This can't be that.
The Heartbreaker.
It's probably gonna taste good, but like, what is the need? Obviously, it's for the video, isn't it? But this is such a wild one.
The police of the cardiac arrest. Tackling the ticker. Artery cloggety. The batter late than healthy. Fried and prejudice.
Batter
The
late than-
dominator.
Oh, God.
Destructo disc of heart disease list. The batter of no tomorrow. Fry heart 2. Harder day. The vein drain delight. The mutts are rejecting my salad. Batman, the artery tightening returns. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Moving on to our next category of
Surprised.
frying, the batter of tempura. People do say that is the healthiest form of frying because it soaks up very little
I don't eat tempura, so I wouldn't actually know what this sort of batter is like.
oil, so if you use a good quality, it doesn't even feel greasy afterwards. And to make the simplest tempura batter, we'll start with 1 egg, 3/4 cup sparkling water, and 1/4 cup vodka. I told you
Sparkling
before
water?
my dad's not back yet, so I don't have vodka, so I just did a whole cup of sparkling water. To that, we'll add 3/4 cup
Vodka?
of flour and half a cup
What?
of potato starch. This is what's gonna make it very flaky. I wouldn't recommend replacing it with cornstarch because it's just not the same. Cornstarch is more of a thickening agent. Potato starch is where the frying comes in. Hence, you fry potatoes potatoes and make creamed corn. Again, this next recipe, you see the name, you're like, oh, a fried egg. I have it every morning with my bacon. It's a deep fried raw egg that we've done before.
Step 1. Freeze your eggs until rock solid like this.
And because my freezer was broken at the time, I couldn't freeze the egg completely. Peel.
You fucked up.
Fry it at 320 degrees Fahrenheit for 7 minutes. They're gonna look just like this. Nice, jammy, interior, jammy egg. Now that the freezer's fixed, we're gonna reattempt it by freezing raw egg overnight. This time the egg is definitely rock solid. I soaked in some water and peeled it. It took me so long. It kind of looks like a hard boiled egg. We'll coat some flour into the batter and fry at 350 for 7 minutes. Inside, liquid cold egg, outside flaming hot oil. So it's a recipe for explosions, but I learned from my childhood favorite YouTuber Crazy Russian Hacker, safety is #1 priority. I'm gonna take it out now because the inside's running out and I'm starting to hear exploding sounds. It looks pretty close to the original. Let's cut it open to see if the inside is actually jammy. I'm not sure it's undercooked or the egg is low quality. It seems like the egg yolk is completely heated up, but there's like a ball of water coming out of the egg white. But there are also coagulated egg white around the surface. So let's give it a taste real quick. I didn't spit it out, by the way. This is just what's dripping from the inside. I guess the moisture from the egg white just got trapped inside. So glad I took it out when I did, otherwise an explosion is definitely coming. Another failure. It's okay, we'll attempt it again. The oil is getting a little dirty, so after these next 2 dishes, we're gonna switch it out. Over here we have a box of grocery store sushi. The only other thing that's comparable in sketchiness is a line at the bathroom of the club from strangers, which is perfect for deep frying because we don't feel bad about wasting sushi and it sanitizes it. We'll take it out once it takes shape. This looks like fried Oreos, which we'll do later.
Yeah, it doesn't look very fried. Okay, it looks a bit more fried now. I mean, this is gonna be good. I can't lie. I bet this is absolutely banging, to be honest.
I really want to taint. It doesn't really taste like sushi anymore. Probably originally it didn't taste like sushi either. Since the tuna is cooked, it kind of tastes like a sandwich, like a tuna salad sandwich. This is the first recipe today that wasn't improved by deep frying, so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10.
Damn.
I saw this video on YouTube of a vegan pork cutlet that's supposed to taste just like meat. It's by Table Diary over here. So basically they cut enoki mushroom into these patties, fry them, and eat it like that. It does kind of look like meat. More like scallop though. In case you guys can't tell, I'm not a 9-year-old girl, so I don't have a rubber band. I'm gonna use foil to wrap it up, drip some water on it, and freeze it for at least an hour. The mushroom definitely froze and took shape, but I'm afraid that it's gonna fall apart if I cut it. I'm just drop it in whole and then maybe cut it later. We'll fry it 6 minutes total, 3 minutes on each side. We'll just warm it up. Enoki mushroom doesn't take that long to cook, I feel like. The cross section doesn't really look like meat.
Sure,
the taste is even further. The worst part is I think I left a spot of dirt in it. I'm a little biased because I like any type of fried mushroom, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it though. It doesn't taste that good. My favorite Thai restaurant in the city is in Nolita called Fish Cheeks. I like to clap for how good their chicken wings are.
I love Thai restaurants.
Zab wings, which is so accurate because when you bite into it, your mouth goes zap. What I'm trying to say is it's crispy, acidic, and very flavorful. Today I got some chicken wings over here. We're gonna try to recreate this at home. I don't have a recipe or anything, so I'm gonna do what I usually do best, pulling things out of my, activate logic canoe. Marinade should be pretty simple, just salt and acid. Ran out of rice wine vinegar, so I'm gonna do this Greek white wine vinegar. The design of the packaging is so weird. There's like a little tip over here. It won't let me squeeze out, and I can't even open the cap. Whatever, I'm just gonna cut the tip. Why would you make something this hard to open? We'll also do a little bit of sake. There's definitely fish sauce in the recipe, I feel like, but it's too early in the morning right now. I don't want to get a sniff of that. We'll just coat it with a tiny bit of cornstarch and let it marinate for a few hours to overnight. In the picture, it looks like it just raw dogged the oil, but the surface is so crispy, I suspect there's a little bit of starch on top. The oil is looking dirtier than ever. Let's just fry these up and we'll change it. These should cook pretty quickly, like under 10 minutes. Once in a while, just check on its internal temperature.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options. I can pass it like Stockton.
I think in the restaurant they use ascorbic acid to season at the end so it keeps the crispiness. But we're just gonna have to make do with lime and salt. Looking pretty close to the real thing. Let's see how it tastes.
I bet that's good.
It's actually good.
Bro, this is why I don't like drumsticks. They're so wet. Like I love wings, but drumsticks I always find them like the actual, like the feeling of them. They're just always so wet.
That zap thing going on. The amount of acidity is reminding me of a chicken adobo, but fried. Plus, also look how juicy it is. I'll give this
I don't like them. I don't mind them, but they're not my go-to.
9 out of 10.
Wings clear.
To cover desserts,
That's
we're gonna make
dessert.
sort of like a funnel cake or apple fritter. Should be versatile enough. A cup and a half of flour, quarter cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of applesauce. I might replace with yogurt, half a cup of milk, and 2 eggs. Let's actually add a little bit of vanilla too. We don't have to whisk it too hard because the baking powder, once it encounters heat, is gonna help other ingredients bind. First one on the list, of course, gotta be a fried Oreo, just like those from Ray's candy store.
Classic.
But to go above and beyond, we're gonna cover it with these thick boys, and we're gonna double stuff it with double stuffed Oreo. It's a little hard to take shape because the bacon is really thick, so we're just gonna freeze it a little bit. Clean oil, frozen Oreo bacon. Let's cover it up and fry it.
Bruh.
While these two are going, I also did just like a single Oreo just to see what the original tastes like. Look at the massive size on the bacon one, almost as big as a burger. Like anything that's about to get fun, we gotta powder it up. Let's cut it and give it a cross-section inspection. Look how crazy that looks. My heart is already beating very fast, so let's dip it in some more powdered sugar and give it a taste rated 1 through 10. My life is flashing before my eyes, not only because it's incredibly satisfying, I think my body is also telling me to take it easy on this stuff. It's stuff like this that reminds me that dopamine hits are better than longevity. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10. The normal Oreo is also pretty fire. I think I made it better than Ray's. So is deep fried bacon and Oreo healthy, you ask? Everything's relative, and the answer will be yes compared to this next item. Deep fried monkey fighting butter. It's a famous southern dish that I've heard a lot about. We'll cut the butter into pieces, freeze it, and then just carry out the same procedure as before.
Fucking hell.
The thing I'm
This is quite
concerned
common,
about
isn't
is
it?
that butter composed of a lot of water. When it starts releasing into the hot oil, my face might be in danger. Once it starts sounding scary, we should probably take it out. And I'm also afraid that the residual heat is gonna melt the butter completely, so I'm gonna stick it back into the freezer for a little bit. And when it freezes again, we'll double batter it and fry it one more time. It kinda looks like a potato now. This one only battered once and is frozen. My first stick of fried butter, very satisfying. Eating butter seems gross on paper, but it's so nice. This is the double fried one. It's dripping a lot, should have froze it longer. The inside, guys, just melts in your mouth like butter, and the flavors of the whey really comes through. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Deep frying is the answer to everything, even jelly bean.
Oh, this is an interesting one. This is strange. Can you even deep fry jelly beans? Wouldn't it just all go liquidy?
The last time I had jelly beans was back in high school biology when we did that experiment of how you can't tell the flavor by holding your breath. I honestly can't remember what they taste like. We'll just mix that into the batter like an apple fritter and drop it into the fryer. It's puffing up immediately. We probably don't want to cook this one for too long. Sorta looks like one of those 7-Eleven apple fritters, and it actually looks kinda good.
What the
I was fully
fuck?
expecting to spit it out. The flavors of the jelly bean is so refreshing and has a nice sticky contrast in texture to the crispy and soft dough. It's like a jelly bean toast, well incorporated. Not that I had a jelly bean toast or anything. The concept does seem more appealing to me now. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Here's the very creepy Pillsbury Doughboy offering us his generous white ass raw. These pieces are too small. We're gonna make a real piece by combining 2 of them and freeze them overnight. With the same batter as before, we'll drop it in. This time I'm gonna fry it very quickly because I like the inside of the dough very runny. Look at that, medium rare cookie dough. What can be better than this? Maybe dip it in some more powdered sugar. No need to explain anything here. Best dessert so far, 9.5 out of 10. We're done with the dessert batter. Let's use it up by reducing Coca-Cola, the original taste,
Oh,
of
he's
course.
putting it back into sugar. Bro, I cannot imagine what this tastes like. Does the cola taste just go? Is the powdered sugar necessary? I'm gonna be honest, it's Coke.
This is like a really popular street food in Massachusetts, I think. A lot of people put whipped cream on top, but let's just taste it with powdered sugar.
I've never heard of this before.
It doesn't really taste like Coke anymore, it just tastes like a donut. The Coca-Cola syrup though, drizzled on top, really takes it to another level. The original taste is unbeatable. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. The last recipe is from the king of deep
Rigatoni.
frying, Bayashi. It's basically like a low effort, low budget cannoli made from rigatoni. It looks very legit, so let's give it a try. First
Holy
we'll drop in
shit.
the biggest rigatoni I can find. In terms of how long to fry them, I don't know, it's raw pasta, so I guess once they turn dark, it's edible. And for the filling, Bayashi did a whipped cream and mascarpone, and to replace that, we're gonna use whipped cream cheese. Put it in a Ziploc bag and pipe cream into tubes.
Oh,
Dust
no.
some powdered sugar on
I
top.
bet
Let's
this is
give it a
good.
taste and read 1 through 10. The last recipe of the day. It's definitely not bad, but immediately it took on some iron taste because the roof of my mouth is bleeding. The pasta got so
Oh, yeah.
hard, which reminds me I need to make an appointment with my dentist. My execution is a little questionable, but Bayashi's recipe looks perfect. Anyways, my house smelled like McDonald's for the past 3 days, so that was pretty fun. But I'm glad we learned that everything can be improved by deep frying. It's okay to indulge once in a while, and I hope we can all find balance in life. Alright, thank you.
Well, damn. I guess like the Coca-Cola one that you said, is that like a common food then that people have? More time passes, bro getting more emotions. He's unlocked more emotions. What the fuck? Are these like things that you'll find throughout like that you've tried or you've had before? Like will you find these just in the US, or is this just more just him making certain foods that are just interesting to deep fry? Because if that's the case, then fair enough. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction, and until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.